Greetings! In today's video, I'm updating my palette of Masha's watercolors with new colors. Well, new to me. I previously did a video on these colors. These are all handmade by Masha, and the focus is on unique, textured, and vibrant colors. Masha also has more standard colors available, most of them single pigment paints. I really love and enjoy her custom colors, so I wanted to expand my collection and I saved up and I got these. So I have 14 quarter pans and multiple dots. I will be unwrapping and labeling all of these. You don't really need to see this part of the process. But yeah, the dots are mostly some of the single pigment colors with the exception of the night shadow dot. The flower has cobalt colors and ultramarine. The little butterfly dot card has quinacridone colors, and the little packet has the 3 Vivianite colors that Masha makes. She also sent me her swatch card template, which is something that I didn't know she offered, and I really like it, so I will be using the template to swatch the new pans. For the dots, since they are a bit smaller and I don't want to paint a big swatch with them, I will be adding these colors to my reference sheet with all the previous colors and dots that I have from her. One of the main features of these paints that I enjoy is their uniqueness, but I also really appreciate that these are made without essential oils. I personally don't mind the clove or lavender scent that some handmade paints have, but I know it's a deal breaker for many people, and I really like having this option of suggesting super original, super fun colors for people who are sensitive to smells. I like that I can recommend Masha's colors for that. People who are sensitive to the scent of paints, it truly limits what is available to them, and that's why I am making it a point here to mention that Masha's paints have no scent whatsoever. I haven't figured out a good palette for the paints. My beautiful wooden palette from Masha is not big enough for all of the paints, and I can't figure out the right tin with the right vibes, and I feel weird having some of them in one palette and some of them in a completely different palette. So I'm still workshopping this part of it, but in the meantime I've set the paints in 2 little white tins that I had. One of the tins has the previous batch of colors and the other has the new colors. Also, of the new colors, I didn't notice it at the time, but one is actually a heart pan. It's a really cute pan format. I love it. I prepared swatches from Arche cold press 140 pound 100% cotton paper cut to size to match the template. I wrote all the info and I also used masking fluid to make a little border around the mastone and swatch areas. For me, this combo of paper, paint, masking fluid, it works really well, so that's why I went for that. Then it was time to swatch every color. I really like the size of the swatch area, especially in the case of textured colors. You get a lot of room to see the paint work its magic, and these colors, they really benefit from having room to spread. Here's a little rundown of my new colors. Shadow Blue Dark is a really lovely, deep, dark blue. It has a sort of blue-gray granulation texture, and it is made with PB29, PR102, and PBK11. Tree Bark is a brown made from 3 pigments, PG19, VB1, and PR101. The name is very fitting. This one really looks like tree bark. Forest Green is a very dark, muted blue-green. It is a mix of VB1, PB29, PY150, and PY40. As a color, it reminds me of Perylene Green, but it has a whole lot more depth to it. Blue Mist is a muted blue-gray with beautiful granulation from the PB36 in this mix. The other pigment, PV19, gives the color a really subtle purple undertone. Dusty Pink is a super interesting mix of jarosite, a yellow pigment made from the jarosite stone, and PV16. These colors balance each other out to make this rich, warm brown with a subtle violet granulation. Shadow Snow is a mostly teal color. It's a mix of 2 granulating pigments, PB28 and PR233. Looking at the final mix, it seems to lean heavily on the teal, or PB28. The other pigment, also known as Potter's Pink, brings in a bit of depth with subtle pink granulation. Deep Sea has the same pigment composition as Forest Green, obviously with a different ratio to make this color more blue, less green. It remains a super deep, dark color. Flame is one of the most unique colors that Masha makes, in my opinion, and it is made with PY150, PR102, and PR14. It is a strikingly rich orange color with the glow of the PY150 in the mix coming through. Diluted, it's this beautiful light orange color, and in its mass tone, it's a deep, warm orange-red with dark granulation. Shadow turquoise is another super interesting mix. It goes down on the paper really opaque, really turquoise. The PB28 and the PB36 in the mix are dominant. As the color dries, though, the third pigment, PO36, peeks through the blues. The resulting color is very rich when not used at full turquoise mass tone. Shadow green is a mix of three pigments, PG26, PB29, and PY150. The first two are granulating and more on the opaque side, while the third pigment is very transparent and smooth. It makes for a color that has a rich, deep green color at full strength that then dilutes into a glowy green with blue-green granulation. Peach, a very aptly named color, is this beautiful red-pink hue. The granulation here is more subtle, since PR233 is a light color with a somewhat weak tinting strength. The other two colors, PY40 and PR122, are responsible for the mass tone color of this mix. Mint is one of my favorite colors. It's this incredibly vibrant aqua color made from PB28 and PY53. On my footage, you'll see it labeled as PY31, but that's a misprint. The current version of this color has PY31 replaced with the much safer PY53. Olive green has a similar play of color as the one we see in shadow turquoise. Here too, we see the orange pigment PO36 reveal itself when using this color diluted. At mass tone, the color is a deep, muted yellow-green. The other pigments in the mix are PR101, PY40, and VB1. Dragon's Blood is a deep red with a super interesting play of hues between a super vibrant bright red and a more muted red-brown. Both of these kind of play on equal footing, and you can see both whether at mass tone or diluted. It is a mix of PR209, PR170, and PR102. I wanted to mention again that Masha uses a version of PY40, or cobalt yellow, that is rated to be very light fast. She hasn't noticed any fading of the color in her paints so far. The VB1 color that she uses is synthetic indigo. It is not the most light fast of color in any version, whether it's natural or synthetic, but it's a really unique color and I completely understand using it in paints. She doesn't use cadmium pigments and none of her paints use pigments that go over the C toxicity rating. Also, right now, her paints are not vegan. So I painted the big swatches, but I'm also putting together a reference sheet of swatches for all the paints I have from Masha. I find this super useful when I'm looking for something specific. It's also a really quick and easy way to compare colors or to see what colors I have available. And then I wanted to paint a little something with just these paints. So I decided to draw this little color point kitty Knight. The flame color worked super well for the cat's coloring. It's the perfect hue when diluted just a little bit. I also really enjoyed painting the abstract background. It can be hard to find ways to showcase special paints, and I think this kind of background is something I want to try some more. The geometric shape is really well suited to the paint, and it makes for something visually fun to look at. So, what's my take on these paints now? Well, it hasn't changed. I still highly recommend them. The colors are unique and beautiful. The formula is truly great. The paints don't rub off and they don't have any scent. They re-wet super easily. I've never had any issue with them whatsoever. They stay put in their pan. Everything is just perfect. Also, I didn't mention it in this video, but all the wood and ceramic palettes that Masha offers on her shop are absolutely gorgeous. They are all made by Masha and her husband in their home, so everything is made by hand by artisans. They very regularly have new designs, so I think that's pretty cool too. I'll have the link to her shop and Instagram account in the description, and I really encourage you to go take a look. A big thank you to Masha for crafting these gorgeous colors, and also thank you to you for watching this video. See ya in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.